And we should be live. Just waiting to see that we're live. Just waiting to see that we're live. Are we live yet? And we're live. All right, we're live. All right,
Cool.
after multiple technical difficulties there, as you guys can see, I'm streaming on StreamYard now, which I didn't want to use because it's worse video quality, but for some reason the guest room in Evie Mux wasn't working. So I think that I might have to ask them for a refund and switch to StreamYard, which I was trying to avoid because of worse video quality. So Trey, let's get right into this. So how long have you been doing music?
Man, I've done music for since about 2016. I mean, I've always written music and stuff, but I started out doing rock music. I started or founded Rock Against Child Abuse, and was kind of doing rock music to raise money, raise awareness for child abuse, which was something that's super important to me. Just going back to my childhood and just those kind of things that made it real important. But so I started doing Rock Against Child Abuse, and if you guys will watch any of my old rock videos, I had super bright pink hair. And
Did you really?
yeah, man, it's crazy. If you pull up the Lonely Clown Band, it was like an alter ego rock band and rock like music that, again, it was just to raise awareness because 100% of everything I've ever made, it was donated through music.
Really?
So it was a way for me to push a child abuse law that we were pushing, which was called the Kyla Davenport law. It was a friend of mine's little girl that got killed by her stepdaddy, and I colored my hair pink. The point was, I colored my hair pink a couple days before she passed away, so she would know I did it. So it was kind of crazy because when I transferred over to country, when I was kind of done with what I wanted to do with that rock band, I always wanted to do country because obviously I'm from here, from Nashville. And when I did it, it was wild because the reaction of the country fans were kind of split down the middle when they saw this guy with pink hair, this country guy with pink hair. It's kind of crazy, but I think once everybody knew why I did it and
Yeah.
the reason behind it, country fans are the best fans in the world, man, and they all embraced it, and it never stopped me from doing it. The reason why you kind of don't see a lot of stuff about the band was my first country song I come out with made it to CMT, and that was
Did it
in
really?
2017. Yeah, and
Nice.
it was right off the bat. And they said the only stipulation was to get put it on CMT is I had to do away with all the rock band stuff because it was a conflict. So
Ah.
that's why I did away with. There's actually a full album, a full rock album out of all originals that no one knows is out because I never promoted it. It's called The Lonely Clown Band. It's on Spotify everywhere, but I never promoted it because they wouldn't let me promote it.
And I think that now that wouldn't be a thing that would happen because you
Yeah,
got you
I
got
agree.
artists like Jelly Roll that just came out of hip hop, had
I agree, man.
a hit song on rock radio, and now he's in country and he's embraced
Man, he
by
is
the country audience, and
the only thing I can say to that is I am by far no Jelly Roll. Let me tell you, that guy,
I, I mean,
unbelievable.
but still, the fact that I mean, and he said that he even had a struggle
Yeah.
getting into to country, even being from the same area you're from. Now, are you right from Nashville? Or are you from like one of the outskirt towns?
I am. I'm from like ranging from Hermitage to Mount Juliet and Lebanon. And if you're from that area, Hermitage and Mount Juliet are literally together. So I was born right on the line, like and raised a little bit, and then in Lebanon. So just right around Nashville.
Now, do you find it hard as artists coming from Nashville with all these other people moving to Nashville to try and start their music career, and here you are, you've been living there, your whole life. I mean, how does that make you feel? All these other people moving in, and here you are, hometown boy, and you've been trying to make it, and then you got all these other people there.
Man, this is the thing. It's like I don't even know what the definition of for me is considered a making it. Is like I embrace all the talent that's here, and like I'm blessed to be able to do any kind of music, and there's so much more talented people out there than me. The only thing that I have going for me, or in the sense of like that I should make it more than them, is I do a lot of my own stuff. So financially, it makes it where I'm able. I edit all my own videos 100%. So I fully edit them through Final Cut,
Oh,
and I
you do
direct
all
all.
that yourself?
I do all that myself. I direct my own
Wow.
music videos. I set up the sets all by myself. Like I do everything myself. So a music video like mine, it's just literally 100%. All that's there is a cameraman, and the shots that I'm not in, I'm the cameraman. So literally
Really?
100% there. Everything I do video wise is just me. So it's kind of like the one thing that I've got over them, which is unfortunate for them, because there's so many talented people out there that don't have the opportunity because they don't have the funds to be able to create the videos and create the music.
Yeah.
So I produce my music, co-produce it with my producer, and I do everything from scratch, man. I don't even have co-writers. I write everything myself.
You know,
So
and that's something you don't see much in Nashville these days, is artists that write their own music.
yeah, I probably have about, I guess online there's about 200 originals, maybe 250. Um,
Wow.
and then there's more than that when it comes to rock. It's just I'm a writer, man. I'm like, I enjoy doing music, but it's weird. It's like you're mentioning about like not being seen. I'm kind of my own worst enemy, because I I have a full-time job and a wife and a family, and it's like I I don't know, like I said before, man. I always thought my goals were like, I don't try to play Brickstone. Like that's not my goal. My goal is to get like 1 million views on the video. You know what I'm saying? I set my
Yep.
goals at reachable limits. So I feel like I've already made it. You know what I mean? I don't try to push my music as much as I probably could, because
So you've
I feel like I already made it. You know what I mean? I just wanted music
yeah.
that my little girl could be proud of someday, not really music that could get me signed.
Now, being the fact that you write most of your own music, do you find yourself like wanting to put your music out there for other people to pick up to use for their songs? Do you write for other people at all?
No, it's weird, because, and that's kind of like the opposite side of like when I refer to myself as a songwriter, it's like I'm just writing about every song that I have is about something about my life. You know what I mean? It means something to me. Even as silly as Moonshine Hill and Hillbilly Lavish, it's about me, and it's about something about me. So I've never written a song before in the mindset that someone else will cut it.
Now, speaking of Hillbilly Lavish, was that your first like country rap song? I'd say.
No. So oddly enough, well, this kind of goes back, because I think that a lot of people that follow these country rappers nowadays, Upchurch and Damon Jones and Adam Calhoun and Jelly Roll, and I know I'm missing a bunch of them, but Colt Ford.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of them
The
out
thing
there.
about
The
guys,
list is long.
the thing about the fans of these guys is that in my age group anyway, we started out listening to two things pretty much. I mean, I really didn't listen to rock that much. So I listened to Waylon Jennings and Hank Williams. And then on the flip side, I was obsessed with Coolio and
Mhm.
old rappers, you know what I'm saying? Like ODB and all these old rappers. And even going up into the 2000s, where I was obsessed with Dr. Dre and Boozy and all these things. And so it's weird, because like I feel like a lot of these country rap fans were like shocked. As me as a fan, I'm not even talking as an artist. And me as a fan, the first time I heard Upchurch, I was like, it wasn't long ago, man. It was like maybe 4 years ago. I was so shocked, because it was like a blessing, because I'd been listening to Waylon
Mhm.
and I'd been listening to Coolio, you know what I mean? And it was like, holy crap, like I didn't even know there's a such thing as like mixing these two artists, you know what I mean? Like mixing
Yeah.
country with rap. I didn't know it. So with that said, I just like 4 years ago, I don't even like to say I'm a country rapper, because it takes away from what they've done.
I
Because I'm
mean,
not.
I'd call you a music artist if you're doing all these different
Right.
genres.
Exactly.
I don't think you could put yourself into one category.
Yeah. Well, and so when I cut my very first, to answer your question, the first time I actually did like a country rap song, it was called Black, and then immediately I came out with Moonshine Hill. Moonshine Hill's doing pretty good, and it was uh, literally just on a whim. I was just like, you know what, I want to see if I can do this and open up my horizons. So something that I'm very passionate about. I love country rap. I mean, I was blasting every single Upchurch song you can imagine. and I was blasting every single Jelly Roll song. I literally dove in, and I swear I feel like I could quote every one of all their songs because I was obsessed with it. I thought it was just amazing music to just be able to mix the two, the art of it. So I come
Yeah.
out with Moonshine Hill, and it did pretty well, and it's still out right now. It's everywhere, and Hillbilly Lavish is actually the spinoff. It's the part 2 of Moonshine Hill.
So I wish I had reacted to Moonshine Hill
Yeah.
first
So the cop,
and then reacted.
yeah, and I didn't even think about telling you that the cop in Moonshine Hill is actually, he changed, like we changed him, and he become one of us, and so he's actually a police officer in the first one. The rapper, which is my co-writer of that song and my best friend and co-worker. His name is Cortez Outlaw.
And you work with him in your regular job as well?
Yeah, yeah.
What
So,
is your regular job, if you don't mind me
man,
asking?
you are going to crack up. I'm surprised you don't know already because there's a few news segments out there that tell more about what I do. I'm actually a dog groomer.
Are you really?
Yes. So I work for a place that donates 100% of the profits to non-kill shelters. So I've been there 16 years, working 50 hours a week, driving about 3 hours a day to raise money.
And then on top of that, you say you work for a place that donates all their money, their
Yeah.
profits, and then you donate your profits from music
Yes. So
as well.
which again, back when I was doing shows, you're making a lot more music than a lot more money than what you're making now. But yeah, so 100% of everything I've made from any concert I've ever had has been donated.
That's
So
amazing because
it's
you
been
don't
it's been
see
a
many
blessing.
people out there doing that. A lot of people are just in it for the money, and it seems
Yeah,
like
man.
you're in it for the art of making music.
I know it sounds cheesy, man, but I've been blessed. I started when I decided to do the dog grooming. I've been grooming dogs since I was a little kid. That's how we
Mhm.
made money and stuff, and fed our family, was grooming dogs and showing dogs. And I got out of real estate, and I saw an ad that said they were looking for a groomer to raise money. And I was like, you know what? I've done this my whole life. I could do this for about 5 months. Never dreamed I'd be there 16 years,
You've been
but
there
it's been a
16.
blessing.
You said I could do this for 5 months, and you've been there
Yeah,
16
man,
years.
it's
Wow.
crazy because it's a blessing. The animals are a blessing, and the people are a blessing. And I work with amazing people, and the mindset of everybody, what they're trying to do for this place, and the organizations that they're trying to help is super important. You have to check it out sometime. If you type in Trey Healy news segment, I think there's a couple on YouTube that's like
Yeah,
full segments that kind of break down what I do and talks about what my goals were in music and dog grooming and so forth. So
and I mean, have you ever thought of opening your own business? Or are you just happy with what
I
they
wouldn't,
do?
man. I wouldn't do it because this is the thing. It's like I don't really have the want to go against what I feel like I've created at this place, and
Yeah.
they've done so well. I wouldn't want to interfere with what they've done. If I ever quit doing this, and I will probably, because obviously it's got its pros and cons. If you can think of a singer or a musician, and locally in this town, majority of them, it's me that does their dog. So it's cool because I get to meet a lot of people and a lot of faces, and respected through that community. But it's like I also don't want to go against them. You know what I mean? I'm afraid that if I wanted to open it, I would never want to go against what I built for 16 years.
So the only way you'd ever do that is if you were like to go and move somewhere else,
I'd have
which
to
you
do that.
probably wouldn't.
Yeah, I couldn't. It's crazy, man. It's like I believe in integrity, and all those things are what keeps me going, and I can't fathom the thought of like closing that place down, or that place, not doing good as a result.
So in your song, what one was it? Heaven's Too Far. Is that the correct name?
Heaven feels too high.
Heaven Feels Too High. Is that your son
No,
in the video? It's
it's my
not.
ne- it's my nephew, which
All right.
he looks just like me. So
Because I was about to say, for not being your son, there's a major striking
yeah,
resemblance there.
yeah, it's in the message behind that. So it's real. This is about the craziest thing I can tell you. I think my music. I write my music video before I write my song.
Really?
So the majority of my songs, I picture what I want the video to be, and then I write a song to cover that. So in that song, I'm wanting to show the image of me as a child. If you notice, he has my same tattoos, and I wanted to show the image of if I could erase time and be able to go back before I was me, before I looked like me, before I was anything, and if that would make it easier for me to go to heaven, because um, I it's I believe that sometimes in society we see people with tattoos, and we see people looking a certain way that we think, well, that person's a certain way and that person's not religious or are religious. And first of all, it's no one's business who I am when it comes to that, whether if I am
Yeah.
religious or not religious. But I feel like the crazier I look, the harder people make me feel it is to get to heaven, which is why I wrote that song. And it's like I don't know. That's just kind of how I felt, a lot in my adult life, is that when I looked a certain way and I was clean cut in real estate, which is a whole nother story in real estate. But when I was clean cut and had no tattoos, I
So you
feel
did
like,
real estate before?
yeah. So, but when I was doing real estate, and again, in the news segments, it's kind of got pictures comparison of what I used to look like, which is crazy. But I felt like it was easier when I walk into a church where I felt like everyone assumed I'm just going to go right into heaven. And now if I walk into heaven in the church, it feels like everyone assumes I just need to get baptized. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Everybody's looking at you like, who's
But
this guy?
that's what the song's about. But to backtrack kind of a little bit, and I know my life is a little bit crazy, but to bounce back and forth, to answer your question about real estate, I learned to read when I was 21. So
No
I was
way.
completely illiterate when I was 21 years old,
Yeah,
and I
you
learned to read.
said in a comment in a message to me that you
Yep.
dropped out of school in what, first grade?
So I did, yeah. I was dyslexic and had some reading disabilities, and we were in a situation where my dad had left, and working was, we groomed dogs, show dogs, and we had a kennel, and working on farms, and whether it be working with horses or working with cows or whatever, it was just the only option for myself. My sister were a little bit older. One of them left home, and then the other one kind of worked alongside me. She dropped out in high school, but um, it was the only option was pretty much to not go to school and kind of start working. So that's what I did. So I ended up
So
not learning to read at all until I was older.
at what, like 7 years old, you went to work to
Yeah.
to help
So
help support your family.
that was my last year in school. That was my last
Wow.
time of learning.
That's amazing that
Did
at
not go
that
to high school.
age,
To
most
middle
kids
school.
would want to, be hanging out with their friends, and here you are trying to help take care of your family.
Man, I didn't want to at all. I didn't want to. I will give this to my mom. When she says that I didn't want to go to school, I really didn't. Like, I wanted to work, and I've been working my whole life, man. And so when I I said when I got out of real estate, when I started in real estate, it was a struggle, man. I was doing pretty good. I started working for my sister, which she was a top realtor at the time, and I was like, you know what? I was making just minimum wage, and I was like, you know what? I know I can do this by myself. And she was great, but I was like, I feel like I can do this. And I started on my own, and I ended up becoming the number one realtor that year, and
So
then the
you
number
so
one.
you overtook your sister of being the number one realtor.
Yeah, man, she was amazing and she was great. But that year, I ended up becoming number one, and I was number one realtor every year that I was in real estate.
Ah, that's amazing. So
So I actually, to be honest with you, I think that she worked a lot harder than I did. I feel like a lot of people that was in real estate at the time worked a lot harder than I did. Nashville Business Journal had put out an article about me starting real estate, not being able to read at the time. And honestly, man, once that got out that I didn't know how to read, I felt like it was devastating when it first got out. And then it was like a blessing because everyone brought me their business, and they were like, it was more business than what I should have had for a new realtor.
so
That's,
something you thought that was going to hinder you
yeah,
actually ended up helping you.
it did, man. Yeah, it helped immensely. I mean, it put me I mean, where I retired from real estate when I was 27 years old.
And,
So,
and how old are you now?
well, that is the crazy thing. I am 43 years old, man.
You don't
43
look it.
years old. I, sometimes I say I feel it, sometimes I don't. But
I mean,
it's
I'm 40, and people say I don't look 40, but I'll tell you
no,
what, I
you don't
I,
look it at
I
all.
feel it. I
You don't
feel
look
it.
at all, man. Not at all. I've got a 43-year-old, but I've got a new baby. We have the most amazing little baby in the world, my wife and I. My wife is named Tania, and if you see any of my posts, you'll see a ton of pictures of her and the baby.
Yeah, I saw some
Happily
of your
married.
your Instagram post.
We
How
are blessed, man,
how
immensely.
how long have you guys been married now?
We've been married for two and a half years, but it's crazy because we met about 9 years ago, and then she was at the front row of one of my we met. Well, first of all, we met at a convention in Orlando, and her family was like they were there on a big Orlando trip, and her mom had come up to me, her dad come up to me, the whole family was there, and her dad come up to me talking about guitar because he played guitar, and her mom come up to me and was like, "Hey, would you get a picture of my daughter with my daughter up there?" And I was like, "Okay, well I got a picture with her." Didn't think nothing of it. So about 4 or 5 years later, she was in the front row of my concert at Third and Lindsley, and I thought, what in the world? Like this, I think this is the same girl that I met before. You know, we had talked on Facebook before, comments and stuff back and
Mhm.
forth, but nothing. Like I didn't know her, and lo and behold, it was her. And we went on our first date the next day. The
And you
crazy,
guys were both from the Nashville area
yeah,
and
went to
ended up
Orlando
meeting
the
in
same day.
Orlando, Florida.
Yeah. And the crazy thing was is when I'm super old fashioned and I just got a certain way of doing things, but because I met her daddy before I met her, and we had kind of talked, me and her dad talked more than her.
Mhm.
I didn't talk to her at all, but because me and her dad spoke, I wanted to call him and ask him his blessing to take her on a date. And when I called him, he said, "Well, Trey, she's not a child; she's grown up." And I was like, "Well, I know that. The point is that I spoke to you first, and you were a nice guy, and I wasn't going to, out of respect to you." He said, "Well, Trey, I don't know what you're calling for. We've been waiting for you to marry her for all these years." So apparently, when the reason why her mom asked for a photo with me is when I walked away, she said, "Mom, you see that man in the white pants over there? I'm going to marry him someday."
Really?
So she predicted that that's what would happen so many years before. We didn't talk to each other, nothing. So we dated for about a year, got engaged, and my engagement video is on YouTube also. I told her that I wrote a song for her, and I told her that we were filming a music video. What she didn't realize, and you'll see me wave everybody behind, is her entire family, all of her friends, all of my family, and all of my friends are standing behind her. The music's so loud she doesn't know it. So they're all parked on this big farm in the back 40, and they've snuck up in the house behind her, and she doesn't
And
know everyone's
this
standing
is
behind
on your YouTube channel?
her. Yep. If you type in, gosh, I'm trying to think of how we put it on there. I think it's Trey Healy proposal is how it is on there.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
So
have to check that out
it's a
later.
cool video because now that you know the story behind it, she had no idea. We had just left her family for lunch and had no idea that they were standing behind her. So
That's
it it was a
uh
crazy thing. It was a crazy
I
day.
mean, that just the whole turn of events there just seems
Yeah.
like, she said, "I want to marry that guy someday," and then here you are, a couple years later, calling her dad and being like, "Hey,
Yeah.
can I take her out on a date?" Like, just the whole turn of events, just it's almost like a movie.
It's hey, you know what? It is like a movie, but you know what's crazy is the all the people in the videos are our family. All the Hillbilly Lavish, that's her daddy playing the stand up bass.
Is it really?
Yeah, so the whole everyone's always like, "Oh man, well look at this guy, Nashville turning hillbilly." I'm like, the funny thing is that all my videos are 100% authentic. It's all always our properties or our family or vehicles. It literally is nothing paid, nothing added, nothing whatsoever. It's all family. So
So it's just
that's
all
why
people,
they
all
are
family and friends.
they're all 100% authentic. It's all family except for like two friends that's ever been in the videos.
Wow.
So we literally keep it just us, you know what I mean? But that's her daddy is in the video, and her brother that's in the video, playing the dobro, and so we're just one big family, man. I am blessed because I love these people like my own family. They're amazing.
And so like how like I mean, you said you've been doing music since you said what 2016, right?
It's 16 to 17, yeah.
And I
Mhm.
mean, have you ever like really thought of like I mean, I know you said you feel like you've made it, but have you ever thought of like trying to make it like further? Like
So it's crazy, man. Everybody asks me that, and I get a lot of why don't you have a following? Why aren't you bigger than what you are? and and I take that as a blessing because I don't believe I should be any bigger in the sense of like I just believe like I told you I'm basic at best. I don't feel like there's nothing special about my music, but I mean I thrive to make it special and I thrive to make it as good as I possibly can. But I understand that there's more talent out there.
I,
So
I
for
I
me,
understand that, but at the same time, there's people out there that have a bigger following than you do that are nowhere near at the level that you are.
yeah, well I appreciate that immensely. Thank you so much. Um, to answer your question about that, I think it's my own problem, man. I think it's my own fault because I'm so worried about the art of it and like I'm worried about like making the music good that I'm not even thinking about and I'm worried about making this video good. And once I make that video good, I don't even share it. Like I literally will share it like one time, and then it drops off. And it's like I want to make more, and I want to make all this contact because it's about the art to me. I wish if I could just poof and make it happen, but with me, man, I'm blessed. It's not a situation where I want to do music for the financial purpose of it. So to me, I'm just blessed to have the fans I've got and the people listening to it. You know, there's a couple things I wish I could get. If it was milestones, I wish I could hit. There's a handful of people I wish I could write with or do a song with more than playing Brickstone. You know what I mean?
Who's on that list of people?
Well, I would say from each genre, it's like to me personally, right now in my life, when it comes to country rap, 100%. It's one. Well, let me backtrack for just a second because it's not one of those things where I want to write with any one of those people because I think that I can make their music better. Let me say that first.
All right.
Or I think that they can make my music better, or if I think that they will get me further. Because at this point in time, my mindset ain't thinking about getting further. It's thinking about the art of it. So who I think that I wish I could be able to create art with and see if the two artists together would be able to make a good song is 100% would be Upchurch, Demon Jones, Adam Calhoun, someone like that. Like, but specifically, I think that the life and let me first say, when I say Upchurch, I don't know Upchurch whatsoever. Never met him. Don't know anything about the guy personally. Heard a lot of great things about the guy, but I don't know him like a friend wise. You know what I'm saying? We're not friends, so it's not like that. But it's just someone that I started. He's the reason why I started doing country rap, no doubt. I mean, I used to listen to Haystack back in the day, and I used to listen to all these older rappers. You know, even Jelly Roll not grew up, but was listening to him when I was starting out in music. You know, but still, it was Upchurch that gets the credit for why I even attempted to do a country rap song, 100%.
And when you did your first country rap song, like what was like your approach to it? Like were you like who like, all right, so let me ask you this. Who's your biggest influence when it comes to hip hop?
Oh man, that's a lot. Like I said, my first CD ever, someone gifted it to me was Fantastic Voyage by Coolio.
Cool.
So,
rest in peace, Coolio.
Yeah, Coolio was my I have a Coolio, and this out of all my videos, man, the video probably that means the most to me because it was my first song that I'd ever heard rap. As I redid Gangster's Paradise, and I made a full video to it, and that's probably one of the most important works of art I've ever created because I made his song my own. And I don't do a lot of covers, and when I do, like I really want to be able to pay respect to that person.
And it's hard for an artist to take somebody else's song and make it their own. I did happen to see that video, and I feel that you did do that with that song.
Man, I put everything that I had into being able to create an art in that video that would make him proud if he saw it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so Coolio was a huge inspiration to me, and a lot of the stuff that, like I said before, Dr. Dre was doing, and just I love lyricists. So obviously everybody loves Eminem, the writing wise of it. And I forget, like there's, when it comes to other genres, like there's icons when it comes back to the writing thing. I'd give anything to write with the McDonald guy.
Tom McDonald?
He's another one, man. That's just, I feel like a lyric wise, I had to say his name when I say Eminem because I feel like he's actually more talented as a writer than
I would agree with that.
A lot of people cringe when I say this, but I grew up listening to Eminem. But then when Tom McDonald come along, I was like, golly, like this guy's got so much talent. I was like, holy crap in writing. So with that said, I couldn't say Eminem without kind of saying with Tom McDonald because that dude's insane. So.
Now you said that you got your when you started in music, you started by doing rock music. Now, how do you feel like about artists like Aaron Lewis who were doing originally started doing like real heavy rock and then kind of slowed down when he went mainstream and then all of a sudden just like dove right into country music?
Yeah, man, it's I have respect for anybody that can do that. To be honest with you, I think in that same aspect that there's no one as talented, and a lot of people would disagree with me, but Post Malone. Because I mean, if you listen to one of his albums, it's got you may not like any of his songs, but when I say talent, it's like he literally has something from all walks of music. You know what I'm saying? It's got a rock song on there. It's got a rap song. It's got
Yeah.
a easy listening song. It's got an indie song. It's crazy because I think it's called Feeling Whitney, about Whitney Houston, I think it was. But anyway, that's like a straight up like hippie song or indie rock song. You know, I mean, he just got so much talent. So same with him. I respect people who do that.
I've seen interviews where he actually hates it when people call him a rap artist. He prefers to be called a musician
Yeah,
because
I agree,
I
man.
mean, like yourself, he truly is.
That's why I like to do all genres, man. It's like my favorite genre by far is country rap. It is. I didn't even know it was a genre. Like I said, I grew up listening to just straight up country, and like that was my world, was listening to country music and rap music, separating them. So now I'm just obsessed because I'm like, golly, man, these guys are killing it. And it's just fun. And it's like, again, I have a big old truck, so I want to be able to blast some good
Yeah.
music in my big old truck, you know. But it's like it's that's all now.
I mean, the country rap genre. When I gotta say, like, other than like maybe Bubba Sparks back in the day,
Oh yeah,
uh, the first I really heard when it really got big was Upchurch.
yeah.
And it's
Me,
like,
hey, I'm like,
myself, I grew up, my grandmother's from northern Vermont, small little hick town in northern Vermont, and my grandfather's from a small town here in Connecticut. And all they would listen to when I was growing up is either country music, or like my grandfather sometimes would listen to like the old rock music, like Roy Orbison and stuff like that.
oh
And
yeah,
it's like, and then like all my friends growing up would all listen to hip hop. And when I first heard music like Upchurch, it's like, man, this is, like you said, it's like, it's crazy that's a thing now, because back in the day you would never think of putting those two things together.
no man. Hey, do you remember? It's crazy because I was listening to country rap before I even knew I was listening to country rap. Do you remember that song that Haystack come out and it was called "In Here"? I didn't even know that was a country rap song until now. Now I look back on it, it was like with his voice at "In Here." It literally was country rock or country rap back then. I didn't even know it. You know, I mean, I was obsessed with that song. I just thought it was a rap song, you know. But looking back on it, I guess it was around before then. But Upchurch made it. You know, I mean, he's the one that
Yes.
created this genre by far. I mean, he may not have created the genre, but he created making it where he's put it out
Where
there.
it is today. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't be where it is today by no means. Which goes back to like I said, is like there's so many talented country rappers that's been out there for a while, like Jelly Roll and Haystack and all those other guys. But again, it'll always be. I feel like no matter what, everyone will see it as Upchurch created it. You know.
One thing I didn't even realize until I saw a post from Jelly Roll. I think it was Hank Williams Jr. that posted something about rap, or I forget who it was that posted it, but that said rap and country should never be mixed together. And then Jelly Roll posted
Yeah.
something about Charlie Daniels' "The Devil Went Down to Georgia" could
Yeah, man.
technically be considered a country rap song. And like, Charlie
Absolutely.
Daniels was one of my favorite artists growing up. And
Absolutely. Hey,
I
it was
went back
Travis.
and listened to it right after right after I saw the post, and was like, this kind of is a rap. And like, it's one of my favorite songs, and I
Yeah.
never even thought of it that way.
It was Travis Tritt that said it, which was I was like, God, I love Travis Tritt. When he said it, I was like, oh shoot. But if you think about it, man, there were so many. Even in the 90s, had John Michael Montgomery. That was, and I said, hey, pretty lady, won't you give me a sign? I'll give anything to make a mind on mine. I'll be your business.
Yep.
Make a call. That was literally rap. I'm like, y'all, you
Yeah.
haven't noticed it, but y'all been rapping forever. You know,
Yeah.
they're rapping. But yeah, Devil Went Down to Georgia. But there's so many rap songs back then that it's crazy because it's like I will get I'll get comments sometime, and this is the thing, man. No one was raised as country as I was. I mean, I've been living in the sticks, didn't go to school, I didn't even know what a store was. I had been raised a certain way my whole life, you know what I mean? But they'll see that I got on tight blue jeans, or they'll see that I've got long hair and tattoos, and it's like, this guy ain't country because it's supposed to be a certain look or a certain way or a certain
Yeah.
sound. But about
Uh,
music, it's like because we have a steel guitar in it, the guys are allowed to sing fast and rap. But if you take the steel guitar out and put a trap beat with a guy with a steel country voice, it's not country music anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, it just blows my mind. It's still country. I'm still country. And whether I put it to a trap beat and put a dobro over it or put a steel guitar over it, it's still country to me. You know what I mean? I'm still singing about what I'm singing about. You know what I mean? And it's authentic. It's real. You know. But what can you do?
So like, have you ever? I mean, like when you did rock, like what genre, subgenre of rock would you have put yourself in?
Man, you know what? It was looking back on it, I thought my rock was better than what it was. At the time, I was like, man, I'm killing it. And now I look back on it and I'm just like, man, I don't know really what I was thinking. Because I don't think I had a genre. That was my problem, is that I was so dead set on being opposite from everybody in Nashville. And the only reason I did rock, really, to promote my awareness and be able to raise money
Yep.
and do rock against child abuse, was because I didn't want to do country against child abuse because everybody was doing country. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, I'm tired of seeing all these country artists down here. I'm going to do rock, and I'm going to be this alter ego, and sing rock music and just be this character kind of thing. I had a white painted face and like just crazy looking.
Oh,
But
you went all out on it.
yeah, man, it was crazy. We were crazy. And like I said, you can pull up, there's like 2 music videos out there of it.
And
But
what was the band called again?
if you just type in Trey Healy, it'll be on there. But
It'll show up. Just type it
yeah,
in your
yeah,
name.
it should show up under my name too. But it's called the Lonely Clown Band. But it was like the message behind the Lonely Clown Band is that under white paint, we're all the same, whether you're homeless, whether you're a veteran, because veterans are huge um, passion of mine, like just giving them respect. And homeless people, so it was literally behind the white paint, we're all the same. It doesn't matter if you're poor, rich, whatever. We're all
Yep.
equals, So that was the
People are
point
people.
behind it. But to answer your question, I really think it was like a soft Marilyn Manson kind of thing, or Courtney.
Really?
Yeah.
Listening to your country and your country rap, I wouldn't picture that kind of music coming out of you.
It's crazy because this is the other thing that I respect from people is I respect, again, going back to Post Malone, because I feel like he's able to change his voice and change to go with the flow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when I'm singing rock and I'm this alter ego. When I'm singing country, I'm able to be country and be myself. And if I wanted to right now sing gospel, by golly, I would sing gospel. You know what I'm saying? Like I would sing it like a gospel singer.
And
And
seeing a lot of your songs, I wouldn't. You seem like a very religious guy. I wouldn't put it past you to jump into that lane as well.
so, I I would. I mean, I think that my King and I song is the only as far as I go. You know what I mean? It's like I do believe in God, and I'm a Christian man, but I'm also one of those people that doesn't judge and doesn't like judge other people for if they're not and whatever they believe in. I just believe that everybody should be happy, and if you're good, you're good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I go to church, and I have a lot of conflict when it comes to some people, because some people go to church for one reason, and I go to church for a different reason. I don't go to church so I can remember scripture. I go to church because I want to build my character and who I am as a person.
Yep.
And that's the only reason, not to judge what someone else should do in their life, but just judge who I am. You know what I mean, and make sure that I'm being as good of a person as I can possibly be, and respectful people. So that's my
You
only
know,
reason. So it's. But with that said, yeah, King and I was my my one song that was like King and I and Heaven Feels Too High is probably as far as I go when it comes to like Christian music, or you know.
all right. And just so you know, I don't know if you caught some of the live comments when I was reacting to your songs, but a couple people in the comments said that they wouldn't be surprised if you got hit up by somebody like Upchurch or by somebody like Jelly Roll to do a song with them, just judging by what they heard.
Yeah, man, it'd be a blessing. I like I said, to me, that would be bigger to me. And this sounds crazy. That'd be bigger to me than playing Brickstone, to be honest with you. I'm not trying to play Brickstone, you know what I mean? And I know it's not possible for me to ever get that point, but to be able to do that would be something that'd be bigger to me, because I'm an artist. I'm not a person that's trying to make it. I'm not trying to get a paycheck. I'm trying to create music from my
Yeah,
art, what my experiences are.
you're a true artist and in it for the art, and
That's
I
the
could
only
see
reason.
that just the way you talk about it, and even from the beginning, it seems like it's always been art and to help other people.
That's all I care about, man. And just to have an opportunity like that is definitely it's a blessing. You know what I mean? I look at those things as definitely a blessing for sure.
Now, of all your songs, what one would you say is your favorite?
My favorite song is a song that has done absolutely nothing. I mean,
Really?
when I say nothing, I don't know if it's because I made the intro too long with a bunch of ad libs where I'm doing. I like to impersonate. So like occasionally I
Mhm.
will
Yeah,
like
me too.
play around, you know what I mean? So on the beginning of the song, I called Gravedigger. It was on my last album. I decided to do like some old Southern like voices. So I think that's one of my best songs, and it does nothing. It's just garbage. It hasn't done anything. And I'm like, man, am I crazy or something? Like, that is it my style?
So
Because I don't like a lot of
your
music.
favorite song has the least amount of views.
Yeah, man, it like doesn't get streamed at all. Like that sucker is nothing. It's called Gravedigger, and it's what I named the album after, which is crazy, but it's not done anything whatsoever.
We got Johnny Gobbles. This guy's an idiot.
Oh, was it Johnny Gobble in there?
No, it's Johnny Gobbles, the crack dealer.
Oh man,
Is their name. He got crazy things to say. We'll ignore him for now.
yeah,
But yeah, I do know you wanted to talk a little bit about Johnny Gobble, but
yeah, man.
I've decided I was gonna back off of him for a little bit just with the
Well,
situation he's
actually,
dealing with right now.
what I wanted to, and not necessarily wanted to, but I wanted to address something that not even really about him per se. Was and if you don't mind me, I know you said you didn't want to really get into that. We don't have to get into that, but
Mhm.
uh, it's up to you. But
Hey,
there's
I mean, if you want, I just wanted to give the dude a little break because I
yeah,
know he's dealing with his mom dying in the
it's
hospital right now.
yeah. Listen, man, when it comes to what he's going through, for sure, I have every bit of uh, respect for that, and I definitely pray for the guy and his mother, and I hope she's doing good because I don't know this guy whatsoever. But a something that popped in my head that I, as just observing the situation, I didn't know who Johnny Gobble was until I saw Upchurch's video. And it was something that made me think. And then when Psychobabble come along, I was like, you know what? My theory's right. When I tell you this theory, it literally stuck in my head because Johnny Gobble has created something. He's created something that I always make a joke when I'm telling my wife about these crazy videos. Is it's called the Gobble effect. And what has happened is, and I think Gobble has now realized what he was doing wrong, and now he's had to go back. Was because what Gobble has created that no one's ever done before is nowhere in our lifetime have we ever seen an artist, first of all, like Upchurch in this industry that is as big as he is, that
Yep.
still checks his own YouTubes and still makes his own social media and still comments back. Nobody does this, right? What
No,
Gobble
they don't
created
at
was,
all.
as a fan, that Gobble started out to be a fan, a mega fan, we'd say. I mean, when I say mega fan, nothing against the guy, but he was considered a mega fan. If you're videoing saying, I just spoke to Upchurch, or I just spoke to Kane Brown, or I just
Yep.
spoke to, you're a mega fan. If you did not speak to him, that's it. You're a mega fan. So with that said, he created something that is actually unique and kind of wild because it's almost like reality TV. What he created is getting an artist to write him back and building
Yeah.
fans from that, right? Because what he's done is I feel like these other guys like Psychobabble have like, oh my gosh, this guy started out with no fans and now he's
Hmm.
building fans. And now Gobble went through a dry spell. Listen, I'm again, I mean, like I'm on the same path. I also didn't watch Gobble's videos when he was friends with Upchurch's mom and everything was good, right? It was no excitement there. So
Yeah.
I started watching them again when it was excitement again.
Yes.
So I started back to growing
Same
again.
here.
What these guys,
I feel like it's season 2 of
yes,
Dagburn.
it is a reality show that they're creating through independent artists. It is a new thing. This is, I don't even believe that he believes like that he hates this guy or this guy hates this guy as much as he does. I think it's a thing of the want and the need to be to have fame, and a little bit of fame is all he wants or anybody wants in that level. But
Yeah.
what has also blown my mind is that when Gobble makes a video and says Upchurch in the line, it gets massive views. But
Yes.
when random people that have no following puts a video out and says Gobble in it, they will have 5 followers and get 2,000 views. It is
Yeah.
like
Very
it's
very true.
like a domino effect. You know what I'm saying? And it's like literally all these people that's just getting followers and getting views just because of Upchurch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
And
literally
it all stems back to that.
And it's not just, this is the thing, is that I've seen so many of these people, and I will go, like, I'll just type in every once in a while, I'll type in gobble, I'll type in Upchurch, and it blows my mind because it will literally be some guy that's got 5 followers, and he'll say gobble, my message to gobble, and he'll be insulted by something gobble said to Upchurch, and he'll like be directing it straight to gobble, but it'll have like 2,000 views. I'm like, man, I created a music video and put my whole heart in it that's got 500. You put gobble. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Put gobble in my dadgum music things? Like, what am I supposed to do? Name the song King and I hashtag gobble or something to get like blow it up? But
I don't know, man.
Dude, it's a gobble effect. And this is the other thing behind that. And this is something crazy. But these guys, I've heard so many of these guys that's against Upchurch, and they'll say, look at the following that we have right now, right? They'll brag about their following. They'll say, look, these are people, it's showing that people want us to talk about this because they're following us. Let me explain something to you. There's a lot of good YouTubers out there with good content. That, I don't know him at all, but that Uncle Will guy, he puts out some really good content.
Yes, he does.
That Kansas guy, if I watch any reactions, I'll go on to Kansas, but I don't follow these guys, dude. I have a full-time job, so I don't really care what they're doing day to day. But what I do care about is I want to see what the crap Gobble's doing now.
Yeah, it's very entertaining.
Yeah, I don't check on Uncle Will or Kansas Rebel Man at all, except for when I'm wanting to see something about the content that I know they put out. If I want to see reaction, I'll watch Kansas because that's what he puts out, good reactions. You know what I'm saying? So I don't follow him because I'm a busy guy. But I will go follow Gobble, though. The crazy thing about it is, so the fans that following these Psycho Babble and Gobble aren't fans of theirs. I firmly believe it's fans of Upchurch. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's their fans that's following them. I think it's the Upchurch fans that went over there just to watch the shit show, if that makes sense.
Hold on. I got to eliminate a troll in the comments.
Uh-oh. Man, we embrace trolls around here.
Not when they make their name the Mix-Ups crack dealer.
Oh shoot, yeah, that one we gotta get rid of those ones.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. They can go right away. We'll get rid of them real quick.
The bottom point is with all of this is that these guys are building their minimum. They get excited by their numbers, but they're forgetting that these aren't their fans. These are Upchurch's fans that's watching them.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They're so. I mean, dude, I've watched some of your videos. I still haven't followed you because it's nothing against you. It's just that there's no drama. You know what I'm saying?
No, I try to keep my channel as drama free as I can.
We gravitate to drama, dude. Like that's human nature. It's a shit show, and you watch them, and you still don't want no harm on them. Like Lord knows, like I said, the only thing I would ever say bad about this guy is I don't know him, is I didn't like that he said something about Upchurch's mama right off the bat. It rubbed me the wrong way, and then now I can't watch any of his videos. I don't watch none of his videos. No, I don't want to give him one single review because of what he said about Kansas's baby. That was just let me explain
completely uncalled for.
As a father, I would die for that man's baby, and I only know him, and I would do anything I could to help a child. And as a father, hearing that he was talking about a baby that's not here is just that made me mad. I lost respect, but still don't wish him no harm. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying as a man, I wouldn't even watch his videos now. So I'm done with even giving him a view because I feel guilty myself that I gave him views because I have, man. I'm like, I've been invested in this saga. It's like my wife watches Yellowstone. She'll be like, I'm gonna watch Yellowstone. I'm like, I'm gonna go watch Gobble.
I'm catching season 2 of Dagburn.
Dude, I am catching season 2 of Dagburn. I have been waiting for months. I'm like, y'all, when is it gonna come out? The second that he realized he hasn't gotten but 20 followers in 3 months or subs, all of a sudden you're like, okay, it's back out. Season 2 is back out.
We all knew it was a matter of time.
Oh man, I was mad. Man, I was mad when I saw him friends with him. So I was like, you know what? That the Patty thing got under my skin right off the bat, and I don't know Patty whatsoever. I don't know none of these people. That's the funny thing. Like I don't know anything. I will say this is that being in the country music and being in music in general, I think why I was so invested in it was because I know the inside, and I know a lot of people in this town because I'm from here.
Yeah.
With that said, I've heard an immense amount of good things. You know, and I'm not saying that this is just between me and you or whoever's watching, but I've seen a lot of really good things and heard a lot of really good things about church. A lot.
Yeah.
And I go off of what I would hear because I do a lot of in the donation parts, and when it comes to um, just the word of mouth between musicians in Nashville, the reputation that I've heard has been unbelievably good. And it blows my mind when you get these people that don't even live here that come up with stuff that they don't know one single thing about the person.
Yeah.
And we can't we try to go up against what they're saying, and you're like, man, I would rather go up against go with what I'm hearing myself, like face to face.
I mean,
So,
I have a theory. You haven't really made it until you have haters.
oh my gosh, man, it's like it's so true. It's so true. But I think that's part of why my fear. I've commented this a few times on Gobble's posts is that I hope I don't ever make it. If what Upchurch has to go through every day, if that's what making it is, dude, I am good making my little paycheck and just grooming some dog hair and putting out a song every once in a while and getting some reaction of somebody that thinks it's good, and I'm good with all that. If this is what this brings, and I think Upchurch has handled it. I mean, and you get these people, it's like, well, he shouldn't be, why does famous people respond? That's why he's so different, man. That's why, if he's not going to respond, that's what his YouTube is. He is an
Yeah,
independent artist. That's the
and
whole point of being independent.
it is. I mean, if you don't interact with your fans as an independent artist, then what's the point of being independent?
He might as well go get signed tomorrow if he's not going to respond to these crazy people.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like that's what I would do the same thing. I mean, I respond because I'm not signed. He responds because he's not signed. Just because he's got 3 million subs and I've got 4 subs, you know what I mean? It's still
I mean, you got a little more than 4. I mean, you got
so
4,000. Yeah, a little over 4,000 there.
This is going to sound crazy, man. I don't keep up my YouTube at all.
You don't even look.
I had 4,000 subs. When you say I've had 4,000 subs, I'm like, Jesus, I'm killing it. I was like, how did I get 4,000 subs, man? I'm like,
I'm honestly surprised you don't have more.
Well, yeah, and thank you so much. I don't take those comments for granted. But with me, I never even looked at my subs. I didn't even know how many I had. I just don't keep up with them. Like I just put my music up there, and if it does something, it does something. If it don't, it don't.
Hey man, I mean, you're doing your thing, and you're making art, and it seems like you're doing it to you said any profits you make from music, you've always donated. I mean, that's big right there, because most people get into music solely for the money. They might start out for the art, but when it comes down to it, they end up going in it for the money, like hardcore in it for the money.
Right. Man, like I said, when it started out, it was even more passion behind this. We actually changed. I didn't say this, but the little girl I was referring to, which is her name is Kyla Davenport. You guys can pull her up, but we actually changed the child abuse law to make it where the law is extremely it's a very strict law, and it essentially the guy that killed Kyla Davenport faced like 4 to 7 years because she was alive as a paraplegic for like a year. So he didn't get life in prison. So this sentence or this law that we got passed and the president signed it, we did a congressional parties where he would sign the law into place, and it was a blessing. He did sign it. So, but this law makes it where it's a lot more years, a lot more penalty for child abuse. So we were blessed behind that. Like I said, man, once we got that passed and we'd raised a certain amount of money, I was done with rock. But it was just an amazing thing. So honestly, man, if I quit doing music tomorrow, it's just a blessing. I mean, I've done what I wanted to do.
You feel like you did what you set out to do, is what you're saying.
Yeah, man, it's it's been a blessing at this point in time. I still got more in me, and like I said, it's inspiring seeing older guys like Chris Stapleton and different older ones. I think that well, gosh, I hate to say this guy's name because it's mainstream, but I think that Walker Hayes guy, oh, that hurts even saying it. But anyway, that guy is the fancy, whatever it was, Applebee's song. But I think those guys that are older, I'm like, gosh, that's some inspiration, because maybe I can, still put out some music for a couple of years and still make it look halfway good. But, again, when you're 40 years old, man, it's like trying to compete with these 20-year-old guys and 30-year-old guys that's killing it out there. It's like I ain't even trying. I'm just trying to make my own music, my own art. And if somebody likes it, they like it, and I don't expect them to like it more than anybody else's.
I mean, that's a good theory to have. I mean, you're obviously putting it out there because you want to put out art. You're saying you don't put it out there to like try and blow up or try and make anything off it. And the fact that you said that I mean, that's weird when you said that you think of the video before the song.
Yeah.
Like that's just I've never heard of another artist that does that. You know, most artists write the song and then think of the video to match the song. It's almost like complete opposite of what most people do.
Yeah, I get it, man. And I don't even know, listening to how people co-write and stuff, man. It's like I don't know how people write nowadays, where they'll be like, I got a writing sesh at 1 o'clock on Tuesday, because I don't know what that means. Like when I write the melody first, and then I just kind of like freestyle it, you know what I mean, and just kind of write it right there real quick. Like most of the times, I go to the studio on Mondays because I'm off on Mondays, and I write it the morning. Any song I write it the morning of the studio. So
also, when you write a song, you're recording it that day.
That day, yeah, and we have it the next day. So within 24 hours, I write a song and then we cut it, and then that week I'll do a video.
That's interesting, because there's some people that'll spend like a whole like couple weeks writing a song.
Yeah. If I don't go with the first round, I don't use the song usually.
Really?
So I don't edit it. I don't change it.
So you what you write is like you don't change it at all. Like
I don't change it.
Wow.
I don't change it. I may change. The only thing I'll change is like when I get in the studio and my producer DJ will be like, "That don't make sense. You got to change the verbiage," because I'm I'm no English major, of course, So he'll be like, that doesn't make sense. So that I'll change, but when it comes to the song itself, I won't change it, and I don't even try to, honestly.
All right, Trey. Well, it's been great having you on. I'd love to have you back sometime. I wish we didn't have all those technical difficulties we had in the beginning, and we could have spent a little more time here. I gotta plan my next stream. Because I plan on doing some reactions later, and I was really hoping we'd be done with this by now, but we didn't start until an hour late because we were having some software issues, and here I am using a software I said I wouldn't use. Just to make sure we can make this interview happen.
Right, man. Hey, listen, I'm just blessed to be on here and like just be able to have. I don't do interviews a lot, so this is cool, man. So
I'll tell you. I'll tell you, it went a lot better than the interview with Johnny Gobble.
Do what now?
I said it went better than my interview with Johnny Gobble.
Hey, I saw that interview, man. That's how I first saw you. Again, to type in Johnny Gobble, and there was your face on it. So, all right, man. Well, thank you so much. It is a blessing to be on here, and thank you guys, whoever watches this video, and please listen to my music. All
right, go make sure you guys check out Trey Healy. Check out all his music and give him a sub. Until next time, this has been The Mix Up. Peace.